devotees, Jai Sita Ram. We here at the Shiv Shakti Mandir would like to welcome you to our regular Sunday morning satsang, our virtual Sunday morning satsang, this beautiful June 14th, 2020. And as always, devotees, we would just like to welcome you to the Mandir. स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। ईश सगुण निर्गुण अविनाशी, माता पिता और यार। ईश सगुण निर्गुण अविनाशी, माता पिता और यार। घोर माए हम वास्त सदाही, घोर माए हम वास्त सदाही, तार हमें संसार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। सनातन धर्म राम राम भावे, वेद प्रकाश अलंकार। सनातन धर्म राम राम भावे, वेद प्रकाश अलंकार। खन्न भखन्न होत लखावे, खन्न भखन्न होत लखावे, ज्ञान जगत उजियार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। भेद कुभावन नून वघावे, आय यहाँ पर प्यार। भेद कुभावन नून बघावे, आय यहाँ पर प्यार। महात्मा गांधी प्रेम विवेके, महात्मा गांधी प्रेम विवेके, विश्व रहे कधार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुमधुर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। तीर्थ भाया यहाँ मुख लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। तीर्थ भाया यहाँ मुख लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। संगति संतन नीम चलावे, संगति संतन नीम चलावे, शोभन सब व्यवहार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार, रंजन सब नर नार, रंजन सब नर नार। Devotees, at this time I ask that we all please clasp our hands, close our eyes, focus our minds on the feet of Bhagwan as we commence with our prayers for this morning. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tena Bhunjitha Magratha Kasya Svidhanam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Hari Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Now we join together, devotees, as we commence in chanting the most powerful Gayatri. Om Agakshe Varare Devi Akshare Brahma Vadini Gayatri Jagatne Madhar Vishwayoni Namostute. Om Bhure Bhuva Swa Tatsavitura Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhure Bhuva Swa Tatsavitura Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhure Bhuva Swa Tatsavitura Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Hari Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Prem Se Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. And as we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer prayers to that destroyer of all obstacles in our life. We offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gajananam Bhutanganaadhi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palachara Bhakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksham Rakshatrelukya Rakshakar Bhaktanam Bhayam Kartha Trata Bhava Bhavaranavar. Om Shriman Mahaganadipataye Namah. Prem Se Ganesh Bhagwan Ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer prayers to that universal mother and that destroyer of all evils in our life. We offer prayers to Adi Shakti Durga. Om Mahadurgaye Namah. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durgakshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Putarte Nihardini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shamlitha. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Tushti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Daya-rupena Samstita. Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu भूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः देहि सौभाग्यमारोग्यं देहि मे परमं सुखं रूपं देहि जयं देहि यशो देहि विश्वो जहि ओम प्रेम सर्ववादी शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय. And devotees, as we continue on with our prayers, we offer obediences to that sustainer of all things dharmic, all things righteous in this universe. We offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. Om Shatakaram Bhujagshayanam Hadmanabham Surisham Vishwadharam Gagan Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Om Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhiradhyanagamyam Vanne Vishnu Bhaumayaharam Sarvalokekanatham Om Sashanka Chakram Sakiretha Kundhalam Sapeta Vastram Sarasirubhekshanam Sahara Vaksha Stalashomikostu Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Om Prem Swara Vishnu Bhagwane Ki Jai. Devotees in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran and in the Sita Ram Charitamanas, it's mentioned that one of the many ways that we can be more devoted in life, one of the ways we can be more connected to Bhagwan, is by continuously chanting the victories and the names of Bhagwan. And for those of you who may not know any ways to do that other than just saying their names, if you'd like to sing a song, there's many that we have. Here at the Mandir, two very popular ones that we have that we sing during some of our special occasions are Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Durga Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe 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 Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. And for Bhagwan Vishnu devotees, if you want to sing Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, that is acceptable. But if you want to focus solely on the feet of Bhagwan Vishnu, a very good and appropriate tune to sing would be Shrimad Narayana, 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 Shrimad Narayana, Narayana, Narayana.
Srimad Narayana, 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 Srimad Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
Rama Narayana, 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 Rama Narayana, Narayana, Narayana.
Rama Narayana, 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 Rama Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
Krishna Narayana, 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 Krishna Narayana, Narayana, Narayana.
Krishna Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
devotees, there are so many ways, there are so many songs, there are so many dhuns and bhajans that we can sing to remember the name and continuously chant the name of Bhagwan. Devotees, as we continue on with our prayers, I now ask that we all join together as we offer prayers to that universal Father, that universal Guru, as we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in this world and in this universe, as we offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Harapurham Hauram Harunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagidraharam Sadhavasantam Hirdayardavine Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. May we all join together, devotees, as we chant Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that they may have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer this prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May their passage be a smooth and tranquil one. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yovardhanan Mrityurmuksi Omamrutan. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yovardhanan Mrityurmuksi Omamrutan. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yovardhanan Mrityurmuksi Omamrutan. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Kartikeya Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Vasukiya Namaha. Om Shri Samba Sada Shivaya Namaha. Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki jai. Devotees, at this time, I will now hand the microphone over to our Kirtan group to offer our Lord Shiva Bhajan before we commence with our sermon for today. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Rameshwaraya, Hari Om Rameshwaraya.
Om 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 Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
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 Om Gangadharaya, Hari Om Gangadharaya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
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 Om Someshwaraya, Hari Om Someshwaraya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya,
Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki jai. Devotees, before we commence with our sermon for today, as always, for those of us who have a guru, we offer a prayer to our guru. If not, we take Lord Shiva in our mind as universal guru, as we offer this prayer. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Prem se bolo Guru Deo ki jai. Devotees, I'm not really going to apologize for this because last week I left you on a cliffhanger. I mentioned that in verse 10 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3, Bhagwan Shri Krishna states, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri
Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Sahayajna Prajasrstva Guru Vacha Prajapati Anena Rasa Viswadvam Esa Votsva Samadhu Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
He says, in the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma is known as a creator, created generations of men and demigods. So men who are on the physical plane and those who are on the celestial plane, who are qualified to perform yajna. He then blessed them by saying, may you prosper by this yajna, may it fulfill all of your desires. And we left on that word, what does yajna mean? Now keep in mind, the chapter itself, chapter 3, is titled Karma Yoga, the yoga of action, the actions we need to take. And he uses this one word in specific, yajna. And I know we hear that all the time. We hear somebody say, oh, I'm having a yajna this weekend, will you come by? Oh, the Mandir's having a yajna this weekend, will you come support us? But what does the word yajna mean? Is it a time where we sit down and just pray together? Is it a time of worship? What does the word yajna mean? Yajna translated from Sanskrit to English. And the way we understand it means sacrifice. I want you to understand there's multiple ways we hear the word sacrifice. In school growing up, and I believe it's around your 5th or 6th grade curriculum, you hear about the Mayans and the Mayans sacrificing lives. When we talk about sacrificing, we don't talk about sacrificing lives, souls, beings, animals. We talk about sacrifice and the actions that we perform. What are some of the things that we sacrifice to do the things we need to do today? So when we perform a sacrifice and we're performing a yajna, let's say we're doing a service here, we're sacrificing some time, we sacrifice some money to buy supplies, but essentially what we're sacrificing is everything that we're giving to Bhagwan to ask for those blessings. Bhagwan Shri Krishna is very specific though. He goes on to state, starting on verse 11 of chapter 3, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Devan Bhava Yatanena Te Devam Bhava Yatua Parasparam Bhavayanta Shreya Param Bhavapsyatam Isthan Bhogan Hi Deva Dasyante Yachna Bhavita Datan Arpadayem Yo Bhukte Stena Eva Sam Yachnas Tistasana Santo Munsyante Sarvakir Vise Munjate Tvam Agham Bhapa Ye Panchante Atmakaranat Anan Bhavanti Bhutani Harshanyana Sambhava Yachnat Bhavanti Bharjanyo Yachna Karma Samudha Bhava Karma Brahmo Bhavam Vidhi Brahmak Sarva Samudha Bhavan Tasmat Sarva Gatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam Shri Krishna Sharanam Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Bhagwan Shri Krishna goes on to say to Arjuna that may you be pleased, may you please the Devas by this yajna, by this sacrifice. And may they please you in turn by granting you your desired fruits, satisfying one another in this way. You will attain the supreme auspiciousness. By pleasing your yajna, by pleasing your sacrifices, by being pleased by your sacrifices, the devas will award you your desired goal. Therefore, a person who enjoys the ingredients given by the devas without first offering them to the devas is certainly a thief. I'm going to read through all of this and then I will make an explanation here, devotees. Saintly persons who accept the remnants of yajna become free from all sins. But those who cook grains and other foodstuffs for their own sake are sinful and certainly partake of sins. All living things are born from food grains, which are produced from the rains. Rains are produced from yajna, and yajna is born of our prescribed duties. Know that the prescribed duties are inspired by the Vedas, by the scriptures, and that the Vedas originate from Bhagwan Vishnu. The all-pervading Brahma is therefore always situated in yajna. Now I'm going to go back and talk about this, because what I've noted before is that he's talking specifically, when we talk about this, and things that we offer during yajna. When we perform a yajna here at the mandir, or if you perform one at home, some things that you offer to Bhagwan are things that you purchased. Mahambog, food, fruits, dakshina, clothing. These are all things you've given to Bhagwan, knowing that you're giving them to Bhagwan, knowing that you're not going to get them back because you've offered them to God. Now, I will say this from this perspective. We have a wonderful group of folks who come to the mandir, not now currently, but previously, when COVID wasn't a thing, that would cook food for the people here at the mandir. They would make food, they would sacrifice their time, wake up at, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to start cooking food, and bring it here for people to consume. But in that instance, there may have also been some times where people are taking out that food and putting it away in takeaway containers before puja is done. They're taking it and putting it in different areas for themselves and for their families or for somebody else before it's actually offered to Bhagwan and offered to the people who are here first. So what Bhagwan is saying, what Bhagwan Shri Krishna is saying is that's wrong. If we're going to sacrifice, if we're going to watch these people make their sacrifice, and we're going to take the things that they made for other people ahead of time without letting us have the time to offer it to Bhagwan, to perform puja here, to bless that food, it's a sinful activity. It says, saintly persons who accept the remnants of yajna become free from all sins. I want you to think about this the next time myself or one of the younger members or any member is walking around with prasad. Every week after we're done with puja, we have cups of mahambog, we bring around a tray of fruits. And these are things that we offered during puja. This is yajna. These were sacrifices. And it says that saintly persons who accept the remnants of yajna become free from all sins. So remember, the next time somebody brings you a tray with fruit in it, and you say no, you're losing out on a specific opportunity. Now, we do say it all the time, and the kids here understand, like, oh, if I don't want it, I don't have it. But we've heard that before. It's like, oh, somebody's offered you prasad, you have to take it. Understand that you don't have to take it, but your benefits of taking that outweigh the negativities that will come into your life if you don't take it. Eat that one grape to remove a sin. Doesn't that sound like a catch-all? Doesn't it sound like it'd be great for your life? Eat one grape and you're removed from sin. So remember, the next time somebody's offering you prasad and they say, oh, you have to take it. You don't have to take it, but I guarantee you'll benefit from taking that prasad. He goes on to say that all living things are born from food grains, which are produced from the rains. Rains are produced from yajna, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. I take that back to something that we've discussed here before in the mandir, and something we know in our cultural society today known as the caste system. I want you to understand that the caste system was not developed in our culture to tell us how we treat one another and who is above who. Yes, it does define levels of society, but most importantly, I want you to understand that the caste system was meant to describe our duties in life. Yes, it was a duty that was assigned to us. In this current day and age, we get to choose our own path, though. So when it's saying that your prescribed duties come from the food and the grains and the rains, keep in mind that in society today, we have multiple people who perform multiple job functions for multiple reasons. There are those folks that work at sanitation plants, that filter and clean our water. That water goes through a cycle. It's absorbed into the clouds, it rains back down, it's consumed, expelled, filtered, and that cycle starts all over again. Now, I'm going to say that I'm a nerd. I am a nerd. And I like to listen and watch zombie shows sometimes. And in those shows, people are struggling for things like food and water because the resources that they have, which were the people who would filter the water and get it to the areas that we need it to, aren't there anymore. But then sometimes we have the gall to say, oh, that sanitation worker doesn't have the knowledge. They don't have the education. It's not about that. Their skills, their expertise is vital to living our lives. It's vital to the existence of humankind. I can't tell you, devotees, how many people in this world don't have clean water. It's a very serious problem. In our hospital, we've purposely partnered with organizations that by making purchases to their organizations, they build and create water pumps and fresh water supplies to third world countries in Africa and the Middle East. And the reason for that is because water is so vital to survival. So they're performing a prescribed duty. They're performing a sacrifice. I would say my sacrifice in that entire cycle is minimal, right? I'm making a purchase for a cup of coffee, but I know that the money is going somewhere beneficial. You have people who are working hard to make sure that we have things for people to survive because that's what their duty is. That's where they're going in life. They're achieving something good. They're achieving good karma, good actions. Know that the prescribed duties are inspired by the Vedas, and the Vedas originate from Bhagwan Vishnu. The all-pervading Brahma is therefore always situated in yajna. So when we perform our yajna, when we perform our sacrifice, when we're doing it with our full heart's intent and not looking for the fruits in return, devotees, know that we're getting closer and closer to our final salvation, to the merge with Bhagwan. But also understand that we're helping out and we're making the world a better place. From this point on, if you've listened to this sermon, whether you're listening to it live now or you listen to the recording later, I don't ever want you to dismiss somebody for the job that they perform. Instead, I want you to understand and ask yourself, how is that vital to my life? How does it affect me? From the sanitation workers, the people who pick up your garbage, to those who clean up the streets, to the clerk at the grocery store, and maybe the person stocking the shelves at Target. I want you to understand that everybody plays a role in this life to make our lives happier, more fulfilling, but easier as well. Don't ever dismiss somebody for their job. That's what Bhagwan Shri Krishna is trying to say here. We all have a prescribed duty. To continue on, devotees, Bhagwan Shri Krishna goes on to state in verses 16, 17, and 18 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And I saved these separate because I'll explain why here just in 1 second. But he goes on to state, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Evam Parvaratitam Chakram Nanu Varata Yati Haya Aghayor Indraya Ramo Lokam Varta Sajivati Yasva Atmarati Reva Syad Atmatraptascha Manava Atmanya Eva Cha Samgustas Tasya Karyam Na Vinnayate Naivatasya Kratena Artho Nakratena Kaschana Nachasya Sarvam Bhuteshu Kaschid Artha Vyapashraya Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam
Mama.
He says, "O Partha, Arjuna," another name for Arjuna. In this world, one does not follow the cycle of karma, which is established by the Vedas, becomes attached to his senses, and is engaged in sinful activity. Thus, he lives in vain. The next two verses, devotees, are very difficult in the way they're worded, so I'll read it out, and I'll try to explain it as best as I can. A person who delights in the self and who remains contented and satisfied in the self has no duties to perform. One who is Atmarama does not attain any virtue by performing action in this world, nor does he incur any fault through not acting, and nor does he need to depend on any jiva in the universe for attaining his purpose. What just happened is what I asked myself when I read those three verses. It sounded like Bhagwan Shri Krishna was saying that there's a way for us to live but not have to take action. And in my head, that seemed counteractive to what he was saying about how we need to take action. But that's not necessarily what he's saying in these verses. What he's saying is that one who looks for happiness, one who looks for virtue externally, is only indulging in material objects as part of action to attain their happiness. And therefore, that person lives in vain. Sometimes we see that in society where somebody has to go out and make so many other people happy to make themselves happy because it's hard for them to find that happiness within. Psychology dictates that usually the people that we see that have some of the funniest dispositions, the happiest smiles, also tend to have somewhat of a darkness in their hearts and in their minds. And I don't mean a darkness in the sense of evil. I mean a darkness in the sense of depression, maybe anxiety. A great example of that I can give you is Robin Williams. As he was going through his entire life, Robin Williams always seemed like a cheery, very dispositioned person who liked to make people laugh and smile. So therefore, we assume that he was happy. But in order for him to achieve happiness on the inside, in his life, he made people smile on the outside. But little did we know that he had something going on inside that drove him to his death. In that sense, devotees, we've also got to understand that everybody has something going on inside that we have got to help understand. It's not easy to understand things like anxiety, depression, and stress. But it's up to us to take the time to understand it and try to help make those people happy inside. Because what Bhagwan Shri Krishna here is saying is that a person who has found that internal happiness, who has found happiness within instead of out, is somebody who does not need to perform their duties, because whenever they perform a duty, whatever that duty is, they know at the end of the day that they're still going to be happy. It says one does not attain any virtue by performing action in this world because their virtue is already in their hearts. He does not incur any fault through not acting because he's self-realized. He has that happiness. She has that happiness within them. Nor does he need to depend on any jiva, anything external in this universe to attain his purpose, because his purpose has already been fulfilled. It's already been found. So when we say this, devotees, it's saying that it's somebody who's self-realized, somebody who has that sense to know that happiness comes from within. I am the only one who can create my own happiness. If my niece and nephew are walking around, so Tejas and Ashwarya, I know you're watching, and they have a cup of liquid, let's say it's soda, because they like soda, and they drop that soda, my first reaction is, what are you doing? Pay attention. Watch where you're walking. You butterfingers. Clean up your mess. Really, I shouldn't take such a harsh approach to the things that are going on and how that situation occurred. I can always clean up that mess. I read a story once about how a son dropped his chocolate milkshake all over the restaurant floor. And a number of people were observing, and the father was there. But the father, instead of yelling at the son about the spilled milkshake, about the wasted money, grabbed some napkins, calmly walked back to the table, handed them to his son, and he said, "Let's clean this up together." He then told his son that mistakes are going to be made in this world, just like this milkshake that we dropped on the ground. It's up to us to approach these mistakes with a level head, with calmness in our hearts, to resolve the issue. It's a spilled milkshake today. It could be a crashed car or something along the lines tomorrow. But the moment we lose control of our senses, the moment we lose that confidence inside, that happiness, that self-virtue that we've attained, is the moment we feel like we're going to lose it all. Happiness comes from within, devotees. Yes, we can see things on the outside, a puppy, a kitten, depending on what kind of animal you like, a turtle. If you don't like a turtle, a dove, I don't know. And that can bring us happiness. But no, by the end of the day, that happiness, those chemicals that we create, the things that make us love this world come from inside our hearts and not necessarily from the outside. That's what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is trying to say. So somebody who's self-realized has that virtue, has that knowledge, has that moksha. But I want you to understand, on that note, it is very difficult to have constant inner peace. We've talked about that in chapter 2 when it talks about devotion. When we close our eyes and we try to meditate, we try to find that inner peace. But I can tell you from experience, sometimes when you close your eyes and try to meditate, when you put your head on your pillow and you try to fall asleep, you're thinking about all the turmoils, all the stress, all the negative things that are going to happen tomorrow. And so therefore we lose that sense of inner peace. And it's so, so hard. That's what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying. So I do have homework for those of you watching. For those of you who watch in the future, doesn't matter. I want you to take the next 5 days, whether it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever 5 days. I want you to sit down for 5 minutes. 5 days. 5 minutes. And I want you to think about 5 happy things that generate happiness in your hearts. That's all I'm asking for. 5 days, 5 minutes, 5 happy thoughts. And I don't want it to be the same 5 happy thoughts every day. I want you to think of a new 5 thoughts every single day. It's going to seem hard at first, but I want you to appreciate all the good that's there in your life and how we can generate that happiness on the inside. That's your homework. But Bhagavan Shri Krishna is not done, though. He goes on to state in verses 19 and 20 of this particular chapter, chapter 3 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Tasmat Asakta Samtattam Karyam Karma Samachara Asakto Hyacharan Karma Param Apnoti Purusa Karma Naivahi Samsiddhim Asti Jana Kanhaya Loka Sangraham Evapi Sampasyan Artumarahasi Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Therefore, Arjuna, always perform your prescribed duties without attachment. By working this way, a person attains moksha. In the realm of the story that's going on, devotees, Arjuna is in the middle of one of the greatest battles in history, but he's conflicted in his heart by what he has to do. His duties as a Kshatriya, his duties as a fighter, as a warrior, is to take part in this battle. But to do so without attachment is very, very hard for him to understand. How can I fight the people that I've grown up with, the people that I've learned from. How can I take these lives and have inner peace and yet no attachment is what he's asking. We're still very on in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Understand that. These questions will be answered. But Bhagwan Shri Krishna goes on to say that there's an example of somebody that I want you to understand who has attained supreme perfection by yajna and by performing his karma, his actions, his prescribed duties. And if you perform your prescribed duties in such manner, your name will be as renowned as this person. He goes on to say that this great person that you should know about, this great person that you should learn from, will be talked about next Sunday, June 21st, during our regular virtual Sunday service. Prem se bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai. Devotees, at this time, we will hand the microphone over to our Kirtan group for one other bhajan before we commence with our closing prayers.
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
मन तेरा बोले राधे कृष्णा, मन तेरा बोले राधे कृष्ण, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
पंछी बोले राधे कृष्णा, भंवरे बोले राधे कृष्णा, बंसी बोले राधे कृष्णा, वीणा बोले राधे कृष्णा, वीणा बोले राधे कृष्ण, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
वृंदावन में राधे कृष्णा, बरसाने में राधे कृष्णा, बरसाने में
जय राधा रमन हरि बोल।
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल। जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल। जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल।
Devotees, at this time, I may ask that we all please clasp our hands, that we close our eyes, focus our minds on the feet of Bhagwan as we offer these closing prayers, as we join together. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purunam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukhabhag Bhave. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam, Bhaktihinam Janardanam, Yatya Pujatam Maya Deva, Paripurnam Dharastu Me. Papo am papo karamaham, papo atma papo sambhava. Trahimam pundarikaksham sarva papo haro hari. Om tvameva mata scha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidyadravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityum ma mritam gamaya. Hari Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Reo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Dhyav Shanti, Antariksha Om Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Rama Shanti, Aushadaya Shanti, Vanaspati Shanti, Vishwadeva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarve Gum Shanti, Shanti Deva Shanti Sama, Shanti Dehi, Hari Om Shanti, Shanti Shanti, Hari Om Tat Sat. प्रेम से बोलो गणेश भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो शिव शंकर भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो शिव शक्ति मंदिर की जय। प्रेम से बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, with this we have come to the end of our virtual Sunday morning satsang for today. I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy Sundays and your busy schedules and lives to be here with us today. I know that nobody's here in person, but you all are here still supporting the mandir, but most importantly, still looking and trying to find that dharmic way by finding inner peace and being with us here. So I want to thank you all for watching, for tuning in, and for your continued support. I hope that you all have a safe, happy, healthy, and wonderful rest of your week. And for now, devotees will switch over to the Kirtan group to have one more song before our president comes to make a final few announcements.
Akshutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam, Akshutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam, Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Hari, Akshutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam, Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Hari, Akshutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam. Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallavam Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje. Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितं आ अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितम् अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्.
Sita Ram devotees, I hope you and your family are all staying healthy and you're staying safe and everybody is doing well. As we continue with week 8 of our renovation, we are hitting the home stretch. I want to thank so many of our members who have come out week after week to give us a lending hand to complete our renovation. As most of you know, the governor has lifted additional restrictions that was placed in the state. Also, local government officials are lifting restrictions. So with that being said, we are monitoring those restrictions that are still in place. And with that, it looked like we may be able to open up our mandir on the week of June the 5th for our first on-site, our, excuse me, July 5th for our first on-site in-person satsang. So please make appropriate arrangement and plans. We will have all the necessary safety precaution in place when we do open up our mandir, if we do so on July 5th. I want to send out greetings to the following members of our mandir. Auntie Dato, happy birthday to you. Auntie Dato just celebrated her birthday earlier in the week, but also by Hinshani, who have celebrated her birthday. We want to give you a special shout out. Happy birthday, Bahinshani, and also to Master Akshay, who celebrated his birthday a few days ago. Nearly a year ago, most of the Twinkle Toe members of our community were out there celebrating a special event. Yes, it was indeed a special event. Our pundit is giving me the thumbs up. It was indeed a special event for our very own who grew up in this mandir, Master Vishal, who tied a knot with a young, beautiful lady from New York, Miss Sasha. So on behalf of all of us, we want to give you a loud shout out and say happy 1 year anniversary to the two of you. We love you both. We thank you for your contribution, and we thank you for all you do for our community. So happy anniversary again to each and to the two of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our mandir. And with that said, devotees, we want to wish all of you much wellness in your life. Enjoy the week, and we shall see you again next Sunday at 10 a.m. For our virtual puja. God bless.